And we do have, unfortunately, the U.S. Supreme Court has taken a completely radical, sort of unhinged approach to the Second Amendment, which has nothing to do with the actual language of the Second Amendment. And that's the world we're living in right now, but California should still be standing up for our values, particularly during the dark times that we're living in now. So I support this bill. Thank you.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Will and welcome to Copper Jacket TV. So the California State Legislature has become completely unhinged. I mean, they are off the rails. As you saw from that little video clip in the beginning there, which is from a Senate committee hearing just a couple days ago on a new gun bill in the state of California, one of the sponsors of that bill basically openly says that the Supreme Court has become radicalized and that they're not interpreting the Second Amendment right. And so they're going to introduce and pass this bill anyway. And so they admit that they don't care what the Supreme Court has to say. And in a video clip that I'm going to show you guys here in just a bit, the bill's author basically says the same thing about a recent Ninth Circuit decision, that they're essentially going to ignore that as well. And to top that off, the bill's author even gets into an argument with Sam Perez of Gun Owners of California. You guys are not going to want to miss these video clips. Stay tuned. Now, real quick before we get started, this video is proudly sponsored by American Heart for Gold. Listen, everybody in the firearms community understands the value of precious metals. Brass and lead could protect your life, but silver and gold can protect your savings. You know, in our lifetime, the dominance of the US dollar was supreme, but that may change soon. The stock market swings back and forth every day, and we're facing record inflation, increasing costs, and unprecedented tariffs. So don't let your life savings become a casualty of market crashes or tariff wars. In times of economic chaos like now, there is one currency that stood the test of time and continues to increase in value: physical gold and silver. Now, they can print more dollars, but they can't print any more gold. While the value of the dollar is tanking, the value of gold is hitting record heights, with many predicting that gold might reach $5,000 an ounce by the end of 2025. Now is the time to call the only precious metal dealer that I trust, American Heart for Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your wealth portfolio with physical gold and silver delivered directly to your door. You can also transfer your current retirement account into a gold IRA, tax and penalty free, with the finest products, amazing customer service, and buyback commitment. If you contact American Heart for Gold today and tell them I sent you, they will give you up to $15,000 of free silver on your first order. So call them now. Click the link in the description or call 866-856-2507. That's 866-856-2507, or text COPPER to 65532. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So we're talking about a recent committee hearing in the California State Senate that was just held on July 8th. This is one of the final committee hearings before this bill goes to the Senate and then gets signed by the governor. It looks like this bill is going to pass. The bill is AB 1078. And if you don't know what 1078 is, it is one of the new gun bills in the state of California that would relimit how many you're allowed to get in a particular month. As you all know, in California, it used to be that you could only get one a month. Thanks to a Ninth Circuit decision, that was eliminated, and now people can get as many as they want in a given 30-day period or whatever time period they see fit. This bill would restrict you now to 3 per month. Now, thankfully, Sam Perez, the Gun Owners of California, was there to oppose this bill. So was the GOA. Sam Perez is very outspoken. Check this out.
Mr. Chairman and members, Sam Perez representing Gun Owners of California, the California Rifle and Pistol Association, and the National Rifle Association. I'd like to echo the comments and the stern points that were issued by the court with regards to these gun control bills. It is very clear in the Nguyen v. Bonta decision, which happened just 2 days ago, that the court, in a 3-judge panel decision, the Ninth Circuit, one that doesn't vote for the Second Amendment ever, ruled that you cannot ration, not only is the 1 gun a month standard unconstitutional, but that any standard is unconstitutional. You cannot ration the exercising of a constitutional enumerated right. That is a very important point, and that leads me to the fact that we are very confident that that is so unconstitutional that it will be going to court, and unfortunately the state of California will share the burden of paying our attorney's fees when we win this case. I also want to point out very briefly that the author in the Assembly Public Safety Committee was very poignant to me personally, but I think to us, that he didn't care about what we were saying about the facts, about the statistics, um, and the number of times that lawful citizens use guns to defend themselves in the state of California. He didn't care. Well, those are the facts, and truth doesn't lie, and they remain truth and factual regardless of the author's opinion on those things and his comment to us. So for these reasons, we think this bill is unconstitutional. We will fight to the end to have it never see the light of day, and we will win.
So as you can see there, Sam Perez doesn't hold back, and I absolutely love it. He basically told those senators, hey, look, what you're about to do is unconstitutional. And by the way, they did pass this out of that committee, and so it is one step closer now to the governor's desk. But he basically told them it is unconstitutional. And if this gets signed by the governor, we're going to take it to court, we are going to win, and you're the ones that are going to have to pay for this litigation. So, loved it. Now, here's the response. This is the opposition from the GOA.
In Nguyen v. Bonta, the Ninth Circuit held that constitutional rights cannot be limited or rationed by arbitrary state laws. AB 1078 blatantly ignores these rulings. Imagine a law telling someone they're only allowed to attend church once a month. That's exactly the kind of rights rationing this bill attempts to impose. Let's start with the proposed 3 guns in 30 days rule. The Ninth Circuit in Nguyen v. Bonta struck down California's 1 gun a month law because there is no historical tradition for rationing firearms purchases. The historical record does not even establish a historical cousin, the court said. Changing the number from 1 to 3 doesn't solve the problem. It just repackages an unconstitutional policy with slightly different math.
So the GOA pretty much says the same thing, that what California is doing here is unconstitutional, and you're not allowed to ration people's rights. You're not allowed to say that you can only have 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 a month. Any type of rights rationing is unconstitutional. Well, in response to that, the bill author says this, which to me is kind of disturbing.
But the Ninth Circuit clearly held that there is a Second Amendment right to bear multiple arms, but the court did not go as far as to say that the state cannot in any way limit the number of guns a person may own. And so it is the opinion of me as the author, it's the opinion of the Attorney General as the sponsor, that 3 guns in 30 days will meet that test. We'll find out. We'll find out if the bill passes out of this committee and passes off the Senate floor and is signed into law by the governor.
So the bill's author actually acknowledges the decision from the Ninth Circuit in Nguyen v. Bonta, but then proceeds to say that I guess we'll have to pass this through committee, we'll have to pass it through the floor of the Senate, and wait for it to be signed by the governor in order to find out if it's constitutional or not, even when the clear facts have been laid out that it is. So basically, he's admitting that California has been doing what we've been saying they've been doing this whole time. They pass whatever they want, regardless if it violates the Constitution or not. And then they wait for the courts to tell them what to do. In the meantime, the rest of us are sitting here waiting 6 or 7 years while the courts delay the entire process. Now, out of everybody on that committee, there was only one person that voted no. And that was this guy right here, who had these comments to say that sound pretty logical to me.
I'm going to just make one comment. When SB 2 was originally drafted and came through this committee, I practically bet the chair at the time that it would be found unconstitutional. And lo and behold, that's what happened. And it's happening over and over. And no matter where you really stand on the issue of whether you think this is good or not for gun policy, we keep getting beat up in court. And when we get beat up in court, that means our taxpayer dollars are being used to do something that we know is unconstitutional. And we're just going to go to court and it's going to be proved unconstitutional and we're going to put the bill. And so that's the kind of issue I have with bills of this ilk is we already know what the outcome is. So with that, I'll let you close.
So if you needed any more proof that the California state legislature runs itself without fear of constitutional oversight, there it is. I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was pretty eye-opening. And again, it's a glimpse inside of the process and exactly how they feel about these bills and these laws. They're just going to pass them no matter what. There are 3, and these 3 are just about to the finish line, and they're going to be at the governor's desk very soon. I'll keep you guys updated on all 3 of them, as I always do. If you guys have not yet subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thumbs ups are always appreciated. And leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about today's video. You guys have a good one.